Father, with humble.
Mr. President, at this time, I would like to table this item as I have some pending questions on a couple of items on the agenda.
Need a motion to table.
I move that we table approving of consent agenda items 6.
Motion made by Ms. Villalobos, second by Ms. Gonzalez, to table item 6. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item 7, discuss and consider approving the wage and salary structure as part of the 2014-2015 compensation plan. Exhibit 7.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're having a little bit of difficulty with our Elmo here, so as soon as we can get that going, I'll put some screen, something on the screen. But we're gonna continue the conversation and the discussion on getting the approval on the compensation plan. What I have done, I've broken up the compensation plan into 3 different parts. The first part is going to be the wage and salary structure that will become part of the 2014-2015 compensation plan. And then after that, we're gonna talk about approving some adjustments and then considering stipends. And in stipends, you have 2 parts to it. You have the academic stipends and the co-curricular stipends. And then, of course, the last one, which is approving the substitute pay for the 2014-2015 school year. And so with that being said, under item number 7, as per DEA local, the superintendent will recommend to the board for approval compensation plans for all district employees. Compensation plans may include wage and salary structures, stipends, benefits, and incentives. The superintendent or designee shall specify each job title within the compensation plans based on the qualifications and duties of the position. Within this specification, the superintendent or designee shall determine appropriate pay for new employees and employees reassigned to different positions. So with that being said, the first thing that you'll have in your packet is the proposed 2014-2015 pay scale. Remember that right now what we don't actually have different scales for different positions. What we do is everything is based off the teacher scale. So right now you take teacher salary times a weighted percentage depending on the position times the number of days, and that's how you figure how much administrators, counselors, how everyone gets paid other than the teachers. We've had several conversations back and forth on this particular item, and what I'm proposing for the 14-15 school year is that at this time, due to several circumstances, that we go ahead and approve the salary schedule showing no change in the staff. In other words, we were not gonna give a general pay increase or any type of increase at that time, which means that employees who have, for example, 1 year experience, this year, 1 year experience, the salary for a 1 year experienced teacher is $39,000. Next year, second 2 years, it would be $39,000 again. So that's part of the first proposal. Now, if our numbers materialize, I know that there's a lot of concern out there in the community whether our numbers are going to be the numbers that we're projecting, whether people are gonna, disenroll students from our campuses, things of the sort. So there's a lot of uncertainty. So because of that, I will go ahead and ask the board to consider keeping in other words, not giving the stipend or any general pay increase. But if our numbers do materialize come after Team Snapshot, which is October 31st, then at that time, allow for the pay scale to reflect the stipend and consider a general pay increase for hourly employees and administrators. Any questions on the teacher pay schedule at this point? So in summary, it's basically staying the same. In other words, a teacher who was earning $39,000 as 1 year experience. This coming year, the individual will gain the year of experience, but the salary will remain the same, $39,000. Again, I know that our teachers are hard workers, they deserve it, but at this time, there's too many uncertainties out there. So I will bring this item back to the board for consideration after our team to see how our numbers are at that time.
How will it affect the teachers' TRS?
At this particular time, since there is no increase, their TRS will be the same. Two things, since our budget has already been approved prior to the first day of school, there's a window of opportunity. We would have to, once the salary schedule would be approved, a new one, when and if, what would happen is we would have to go and do what is called a catch-up check. And that is, we would have to go back, figure out what the salary would be for the individual teachers, bring them up to current, which would be, let's say it's November 1st, we would figure that out. And then from November 1st on, do a proration. So it's gonna be a lot of accounting on our part, but it can be done, as long as the board, contingently, I guess, approves, the plan. Now, if the numbers materialize, I'll bring it back. If the numbers do not, then I will still notify the board as to where we stand and whether we can afford to give the increase at that time.
And they're eligible to get a step after October if it's the numbers?
If the numbers, remember, they're moving up in their experience, we're freezing the salary. If the numbers materialize on after October 31st, in snapshot, then yes, I'll come back and put the proposal on the table for the board to consider. It will be broken up into the teachers receiving their step increase, and then our hourly employees receiving a percentage to increase their hourly amount. And then administration, if the scales get approved the way that I'm presenting it, then it will be a general increase from midpoint. If the scales do not get approved as presented, then it all goes back to the teacher pay scale. So, any questions on this one? This is the majority of the presentation on this part.
So then we're not saying no to the raises, we're just saying let's see after, October 31st.
That is correct. We're not saying no to raises. I think that we need to be a little bit more cautious. There's a lot of things happening out there, so I don't know what the future will bring, whether our numbers will be up. I'm thinking that they will be, but it's better to be safe than sorry and proceed with caution.
So by November, or the first week of November, you should more or less have an idea.
Absolutely. The official team snapshot, I believe, is October 31st. I'll have an indicator earlier than that. I will not, because we'll see how many students enrolled and how many students were present the first 6 weeks. For sure, by the 31st, we'll have confirming numbers, and I'll bring it up at the November board meeting for the board to consider doing the step increase at that time, or I will inform the board